So it's Monday, and today I am going to cook something that's completely AIP diet, anti-inflammatory. And the pork that I have is humanely raised. It has not been kept in a pen. It says gorgeous pork loin. When you look for pork loins, you want to look for something that has a little bit of fat, but not too much. I don't like to buy the chops already done in the store. I like to make my own chops because I like really thick ones. The reason I like really thick ones is because I like to cook them for a long time. The longer they cook, the more flavor they're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this nice big piece of fat down here at the bottom. Also make sure you have a sharp knife. While I'm doing this today, so this pork is going to cook for 3 hours, 4 hours possibly before I get anything else cooked. If you have a crock pot, it's definitely okay to prep this pork out the night before and stick it in there. But again, pork is like chicken, you know, it's kind of has its own individual flavor, but it is very subtle. So it is definitely something that seasonings go well with. Nice big piece of fat. Go on. While I'm at that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my oven on, my stove on, and get it ready. So nice big, thick cast iron pot. I just love cooking with cast iron. I feel like it holds heat well. I am going to cut these chops about 1.5 inches thick. So they are going to be about the length of my thumb. And I'll show you really quickly what they look like. You see that? Gorgeous, gorgeous. A little bit of fat because a little bit of fat's okay. A lot of fat's not okay. I am going to make 4 of them today, and then I'm going to actually cut the rest of the pork up into cubes and save it for another meal. You know, the nice thing about getting older is, and a sad thing too at the same time, honestly, is that you have less people to cook for. Your grocery bill definitely does go down. But it's just different, you know, having 6 kids and then going to an empty nest, completely different. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. So, along with my pork, I have some apples that are getting ready to go bad. Pork and apples go really well together. You don't have to put them in there if you don't like them. You can put them in there, it doesn't matter. I have some onion that's cut up. I have some chicken broth. Each of these is 1.5 cups, so this is about 3 cups of chicken broth. I have some olive oil, fresh oregano, thyme, and sage. Sage and pork are best buddies. Same with turkey too. Pork and turkey love sage. Oh my goodness. And then I have some whole garlic that's already peeled and ready to go. And for me, it's organic again. I am, in the meantime, checking the temperature of my pot. It's not that hot yet. Here are my 4 pork chops. That's my waste. Again, I'm going to go wash my hands because I'm going to stick them into the salt and pepper dish, and I don't want to contaminate them. I'm always washing constantly. Definitely don't want to contaminate your salt and pepper dish. So today I'm working with kosher salt as opposed to yesterday with sea salt. No particular reason. I just like to mix up my salts. So be generous. You're going to cook it in liquid. A lot of the flavor from the salt is going to go out. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to sear this meat. So the key to braising any meat is to give it a good sear first. If you don't, the meat is going to lose all its juices. So what you're doing by searing it is basically tightening those skin, the proteins in the meat up, creating a skin on top of it so that the flavor doesn't come out. Kind of like your skin does for your body, right? You know, your skin keeps everything inside when it's nice and tight, and when you have a laceration, blood oozes out. Same thing with the meat, same concept. Big pot, so probably 1.5 tablespoons of oil. We want to make sure the oil gets nice and hot. It's sizzling when I flick the extra pepper and salt from my fingers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. Oh yeah, beautiful sizzle. So high heat. Super high heat. Very, very, very important. I'm going to wash my hands again. And while that's cooking on high heat, we're going to leave it alone. Okay, don't be one of those people tempted to lift and check it out and make sure it's doing okay. If you do that, you're going to ruin that beautiful crust that you want on your meat. Next mat. Oh, look at how cute. Turnips. I love turnips. So, apples. They're not going to be served, so nothing in here has to be beautifully chopped. You're just going to cut it up enough so you can get some flavor in there. If you've ever made a pot roast before, you'll get the concept. Or you can sometimes just throw whole celery stalks in there and whole carrots in there. And again, these apples are bruised and nobody was going to eat them. So it's just a great opportunity to not waste them by tossing them in the pot with the food. Watching me chop apples, right? I don't know about you guys, but we're huge apple and peanut butter fans in this family. So normally apples don't go to waste, but for some reason they are right now. Probably because my granddaughters have been at my son's house quite a lot instead of being over here with me. But they normally, oh my goodness, those girls can eat apples and peanut butter all the time. And for me, it's apples and almond butter, which I love. So I don't have a bowl today for my weight because I have a bag that I got from the grocery store. So again, rough chop with the onions. Everything's going to come out at the end because we're actually going to take all that braising liquid at the end and reduce it down to make like a jus, which is a fancy word for a gravy. I don't know if you can see or smell it, but most of the time when you see the steam coming off the pot, that's when you know it's time to flip. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on. Okay, big no-no that I'm doing right now, but my tongs are dirty. So, don't stick a fork in meat as it's cooking. I don't know if you can see it right now, but it is gorgeous. The crust on that, okay? So now that I know I'm getting ready to flip it again, I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the other side. Again, be generous. Yum. Okay, here we go to flip. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my goodness. So good. You know, any braising any meat is just the best way to get it super tender, full of flavor. Chicken breast, I won't even eat a chicken breast most of the time unless it's just like flat barbecued or braised. I am going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves of garlic. They're rather large. And I'm not going to chop and dice them today. All I'm going to do is smash them. Because I want them to stay whole. So I can get them out of the pot later on. Okay. And then I am going to get some fresh sage. And again, this is not going to stand, so I'm going to leave it whole. So probably 2 good swaths. You know, the whole bouquet garni, all that is a fancy word for saying that you're going to leave the herbs whole and basically tie them off in some, with some kitchen twine, just so that you can remove them, basically. So you get those really pretty clear broths and sauces. And so same concept here. I'm going to leave everything whole. Just oregano. Oregano, thyme, and sage. Yum. And as much as I love basil, I mean love, love, love basil, would not be appropriate in this dish today. We just give it a different flavor, not something that we're going after. We are going after that Midwestern farm feel. Normally this dish is served with mashed potatoes, which we're not doing today. We're doing celery root and white sweet potato mixed together. So that's done. Here goes our onion dropped in the pot. Apples dropped in the pot. Herbs, garlic, and chicken broth, 3 cups. So the goal is on the chicken broth, you want it to cover the meat. So if you need more, you need more. I don't know if you noticed, my chicken broth always runs a little yellow because I put turmeric in it when I cook it, and ginger. So my meat is not quite covered, so I'm going to add a little water. Beautiful. Okay, so I have just enough water to cover all the meat. The herbs are floating around. The apples are floating around. OMG. Okay, all I'm going to do is bring this back to a boil, put the lid on it, turn the heat on low, and leave it alone. I'm going to come back and check on it once an hour for the next 3 hours. And when that happens, that's when we're going to go ahead and make our sides and our vegetable. So I will see you guys back. Hi, so it's been 2.5 hours and the pork chops have been cooking. They are now soft to the touch so that when I poke them with the tongs, the meat is coming apart. What I'm going to do is take the lid off of the pork chops, and then turn the heat up. So I'm going to do that first. What that's going to do is that's going to reduce the sauce that the pork chops are cooking in, and it's going to make that jus, that gravy. Some things I have out, I have celery root, looks like a little brain. I'm going to peel it and dice it. I have a white sweet potato. These two are going to go together and be my puree / mash, along with unsweetened coconut yogurt. My husband is getting regular Yukon Gold potatoes, and then I am going to cut up the Brussels sprouts to go into the oven. So I'm going to show you quickly how I chop my Brussels. I cut off the stem part. Notice I have a waste bin this time, and then cut it in half like this, and then plop it down on the cutting board. On the cookie sheet. Celery root is really fibrous, so you're going to cut it through till you get a flat surface like that. Have a way to set it down, and then go around it. And just start taking off that really thick outer skin. So you see how that's going to go, yeah? Sweet potato, you're just going to peel. I always make sure I like to peel away from myself. But as you can tell, this is a white sweet potato, so it's white on the inside. It is still sweet, so you need to make sure that you balance it with a lot of salt. Potatoes are very fibrous. Fibrous foods take a lot of salt to actually be seasoned well. But as you can tell how it's going. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to do all of my chopping, and then when you come back, you'll see everything's chopped and ready to go, and we will go into cooking. Okay, so the magic of cutting and pasting, you come back, everything's chopped. My husband's potatoes are all chopped up. This is the celery root. and the white sweet potato chopped, ready to go into the pot, which I'm going to take the lid off of. Salt that water. That's how you're going to get your flavor in. So I'm going to drop my husband's potatoes in the pot for him. Whew. I guess it would have been smart for me to use one of those slider pads, huh? And then these will be going in. So you know how you go from cooking to, wow, look at me, I'm cooking on video. I have no idea how to do this, so please forgive me as I navigate myself here. Brussels are all chopped up, if you see that. I'm going to be generous with the olive oil. They are very porous. They will soak all of the olive oil up. They are on plants that are naturally bitter, like cabbage and Brussels sprouts. You do need to be liberal with your flavorings. Because that's why a lot of people put cranberries in with their Brussels sprouts to balance that out. They put the sweet in with the bitter. I personally like the bitter flavor. And then another option could be to add maybe some chili flakes, whatever you're interested in. I'm not going to do chili flakes tonight. I'm trying to be a little less inflammatory with my food today. And then get in there with your hands. Nothing beats your hands. They're the best tool there is. So get in there and just give it all a good little mix. My oven is on 425. This is going to roast really fast. I like a super hot oven when I'm roasting vegetables rather than a cooler one. That way they cook really fast. You get that good char on top, and they get cooked but not overcooked, because nobody wants a mushy Brussels sprout. So Brussels are going to go in. Everything's boiling away. And I am going to cut out and see you all in about 15 minutes, which is the time it's going to take for all of that to cook. Home stretch. So the biggest thing with cooking is trying to time everything out so it's all hot and ready at the same time. So I am pulling out the Brussels right now. I can smell them in the house. They smell amazing. And as you can see what they look like, I'm going to taste them, make sure the salt is good. Good. What I'm going to do is leave them, whew, that's good. Leave them in the oven with the door open so that they semi-stay warm. I drained off all the liquid from all the vegetables that we're mashing. How do you know it's ready? What you do is you stick a fork in it. You ever heard that saying, stick a fork in me, I'm done? That's how potatoes and any fibrous plant is. Stick a fork in it, they're done. Always salt them right away. So this is my celery and sweet potato mix. This is his Yukon Golds. He's going to get sour cream. So this is great for somebody who wants to gain weight, wants the extra calories. Add the sour cream, you're good to go. But for me, not the case. I'm also going dairy-free. So my mash is dairy-free and nightshade-free. I use unsweetened coconut for so many things. Normally I do these in the mixer, but it's a small batch tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and mash them by hand. A lot of people use potato ricers, and if you have a ricer in your house, go ahead and use it. I don't like to have just like a single-use tool most of the time, something that's just going to take up space. I'm going to taste this really quick, make sure the salt's good on his. It's good. actually needs a little bit more fluff to it. So I'm going to add some half and half to his. Make him a little fluffier. And pull out the whisk. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. Tell me that's not some beautiful mashed potatoes. Look at that. Now I need to go rinse my whisk so I can use it for mine. So if I was 100% wholeheartedly back into my whole nightshade-free, dairy-free thing, I would not have used the same whisk even after rinsing it off. I would have made sure I had something fresh, but let me tell you, I'm not messing up more dishes than I have to clean up. I really don't feel like it tonight. Another great thing you can do to your veggie puree slash mash is to add fresh, wow, that celery root is amazing, is to add fresh herbs. I'm going to add some dried ones right now. So I am going to grab my basil. I already told you it's my favorite herb. Some fresh basil. I need some dried basil. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Give mine a whisk. Hot. Okay, here we go. For the husband, he's a mashed potato fan, which is obviously why I made so many. So that's his. There's mine. Adding some Brussels. We both love Brussels sprouts. Ooh, hot. And then when you're switching over to a healthier diet, you're going to end up filling your plate up more and more and more with fruits and vegetables. And let's do a pork chop and some sauce. So there is his ready to go, and I'm going to do mine. And instead of taking a bite at the end today, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. I'm going to take photos of both of our plates next to each other, but I'm going to tell you right now, I am looking forward to mine just as probably as much as he's looking forward to his, and I really don't think there's going to be much of a taste difference. So in the meantime, remember to get out and move. Healthy lifestyle and healthy choices start with one thing at a time. So start small and then build up. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see me cook, maybe something to modify, something, a tried and true favorite that you'd like to see maybe made into a healthier version, go ahead and shoot me a message.